everyone, so today I wanted to film a tutorial for this look. I've been wearing it a lot lately and I thought I should just show you guys because I've been enjoying it so much. This has just been one of my favorite looks to wear lately. I think it's so natural, yet it's so polished and put together looking and clean. I've just been enjoying it a lot, so I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. I'm starting off with my face already done with foundation and things like that from my foundation routine video. So if you want to see how I got my face to this point, I will link that video down below. But basically I applied foundation, concealer, powder, blush, and bronzer. And the bronzer that I used is the NARS Laguna bronzer that came in my Orgasm and Laguna duo. And the blush that I used, I don't have it actually right here to show you, but is the Tarte Amazonian Clay blush in Blissful. In that video I talk about the different shades that I am in different products. So if you're really curious, you can go ahead and watch that and you'll see how I got to this point. I'm going to start off this tutorial by using my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Original, and I'm going to use this to prime my eyelids for eyeshadow. And I'm just going to squeeze a very small amount onto my ring finger and then dab that all over my eyelids and blend it in. I'm taking this primer all the way from the inner corner of my eye up to about my crease, a little bit past my crease, and all the way across to my outer corner. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have primer everywhere that I'm going to put shadow. All of the shadows that I'm going to be using today are from the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is the first Naked palette. The first color that I'm going to take is Virgin, and this is just a really light, not white, but a very, very light kind of nude shimmery color. And I'm going to take it on this medium shadow brush. I've talked about this brush before in videos. I got it at Meyer for about $3, and it is honestly one of the best brushes in my collection. There's not even a brand on it, and it was one of the first brushes I ever owned. It might have been the first brush I ever owned, but it has stayed with me for, gosh, at least 5 years. So that's amazing. I'm just going to take a little bit of this on one side of this brush. I'm taking this color all over my entire lid, all the way from my inner corner, all the way to my outer corner, and I'm just doing this to give the rest of my shadows kind of a little bit of a base of color here. Since the shadow is so light and almost white, it's also going to make everything look more awake as well. I'm going to use the other side of this brush, which hasn't been touched with shadow yet, and go in with Naked, which is a matte, very, very light nude color, hence the word naked, and take this on my crease, just focusing on the actual crease, but going down a little bit into the outer half as well. Basically, the inner half of my eye is only going to have the shadow Virgin on it, and the rest is where I'm putting the rest of the shadow. I don't want it to be too concentrated in the crease. I'm blending it kind of all over the outer half of my eye. Next, I'm going to take the color Buck, which is another matte color, on my MAC 217 brush, and this is one of my favorite brushes of all time. I think it blends so well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this color, not too much. I don't really want the super brown shade to show up in this look. I'm just using it for depth and definition, and I'm going to take this over the Naked color, but blending it a little bit more into the crease than I did with the Naked. This is going to be more focused as a crease color. I'm just using window shield wiper motions to get this to blend in really evenly. The last shadow that I'm going to use is Hustle, which is kind of a darker, almost purple color, but it's not, I don't know, it's not really a purple, it's just a magical looking color. It's kind of a dark metallic. I'm taking a teeny tiny little bit of this on the same 217 brush on the other side of it. I'm placing it in the smallest corner of my outer corner, if that makes sense, like the place that it's actually like the actual corner, and I'm going to blend it with the MAC 224 brush. So this is kind of a longer brush and it blends more easily. This one is a little bit more densely packed, and so I placed it with this brush, and now I'm going to actually move it around with this one, and I'm going to blend it upwards into the crease over the Buck and Naked colors, just bring it in from the outer half, or from the outer corner where I just applied it. I really like this combination of shadows because I feel like it gives me a very natural, defined look. Like my eyes are definitely brought out and there's definitely shadow there, but it's very light and just natural at the same time because the shades that I'm using are not super far off from my skin tone. It's not like using a black as a crease color. For my inner corner highlight, I'm going to be using my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in 608 Cottage Cheese. This is just a shimmery white. It's just very, very bright white, so I'm only going to use a teeny little dab as if I were lining my tear duct here. And then I'm going to blend it out with my finger. For eyeliner, I'm going to take my MAC eye pencil in the shade Ebony, which is just a black, and I'm going to actually just line the space in between my lash lines, which is called tight lining. So I'm not going to make a line like I usually would, like a straight, or not straight, but like a continuous line across my lashes. I'm actually going to take it in between. So how I like to do this is I close my eyes a little bit and just sort of rub it, if that makes sense. You'll see when I do it, but basically I close my eyes on top of the pencil and then rub the pencil through. Tightlining your eyes just makes your lashes look thicker and blacker and fuller, so that's why I like to do it. And I'm going to take this just very, very lightly and actually do a line along the top. I'm just keeping as close to the lash line as I can. And I'm mostly sticking to the outer half of my eye. I'm not really lining past the center of my eye right here. I'm not going any farther in. I'm just trying to add a little bit more definition than the tight lining on my outer half, which will make my eyes look bigger. I've said it before, but I really like this pencil because of how you don't have to like dig into your skin to get the pigment to come off. I feel like a lot of pencils are too hard to effectively line your eyes. They don't smudge enough, but this one is just the perfect consistency. I'm going to use an angled liner brush. This is the MAC 266 to blend out the liner on my top lashes again. I don't want a line at all. I don't want it to look like I applied eyeliner on my lash lines at all. So I'm just going to smudge it into my lash line, like into the space between my lashes as much as possible, bringing it down to where I tight lined. I'm going to go back in with the Ebony liner, but this time I'm actually going to use the 266 brush directly on the pencil, and I'm going to take some of the pigment onto my liner brush. I don't want an actual eyeliner line showing at all, so I'm just pressing this into my lash line. Using eyeliner on an eyeliner brush, especially a pencil liner, which is kind of harder to blend than say a kohl liner or a liquid liner or a gel liner, gives you a lot more control as to where you're placing it, and it just ends up looking more natural and neat. I'm staying on the outer half of my lower lash line, again, just to make my eyes look a little bit bigger. The more emphasis that you draw on the outer half of your eyes, the bigger they're going to look. For mascara on my upper lashes, I'm going to use my Maybelline the Falsies Volume Express Mascara, and this is Blackest Black. And I'm going to do a couple of coats of this and draw my lashes out pretty far. This is the only really kind of unnatural aspect of this look. Everything else looks super, super, not no makeup, but very, very light makeup, but I am going to emphasize my lashes. I find that if I wiggle my brush in my lashes a little bit before letting them go, it really makes them noticeably longer. For my bottom lashes, I'm going to be using my Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara in, I think this is number 1, Black. So the reason that I would rather use a bottom lash mascara specifically instead of just going in with the Falsies is just because I find that this clumps less and I have much less risk of getting mascara like down here from a bigger brush. Your bottom lashes are just so much smaller that they're a lot harder to work with, and this brush, this wand, is so small, it's absolutely perfect. So I just want to add really natural definition to these bottom lashes without making them look like freaky long or clumpy at all. So now my eyes are finished. I'm going to go ahead and define my brows a little bit with my Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in Brunette / Dark Brown. And I actually haven't seen this at Sephora in a long time, and I'm thinking that they discontinued it or they changed the packaging. I wasn't really looking for it because I have a ton of product left. I don't need to buy any more right now, but if they do discontinue it and I need it again, I'm going to be very sad because it is a perfect match for my brows. So I'm going to use the lighter brown color of the two. I think that's the Brunette one. And take that on an angled liner brush. This is the Sephora Professional Angled Liner Brush number 15. And just go ahead and fill in any sparse spots in my brows. I'm not actually going to make them more emphasized than they already are because I do have fairly thick brows. It just runs in my family. But if you don't have substantial brows, I would go ahead and make them a little bit thicker than they are for this look. If you don't have a brow powder that you like, I would recommend using some bronzer to fill in your brows instead. As long as it is a sort of close match to your brows, you should be fine. For lips, I'm going to be using MAC's Creme Cup lipstick. This is a creme sheen finish, and it's one of my favorite lipsticks. It's just a natural pink, like a light pink with a little bit of nude to it, so it's not like a Barbie pink at all. I'm just going to apply this fairly generously. So this is the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All the products that I use will be written down below, along with a link to my foundation routine video. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.